together. I present to you at this time Dr. William Ruto, the Deputy President of Kenya.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's take our seats. I don't know whether to say good morning, good evening. The president of the University of Loyola, Dr. K of the Carson Institute of Race, Peace, and Social Justice, the president of the International Conference of Bishops, distinguished leaders present here, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. And let me take this opportunity on behalf of the Kenyan delegation that's here to express our gratitude for this great university for hosting us for this engagement. It's our first engagement at an institution of learning, and we want to say we are truly grateful that we've had this opportunity to engage. Congratulations to the Carson Institute for providing a platform for engagement on a matter that is very pressing, as has been said by the earlier speakers. And I would make a few comments on what I think the direction to which we in Kenya as a global, as a member of the global village, or did you say something to the effect that we are all in a neighborhood that one resembles the other? I don't want to use the word you used earlier. I'm not as courageous as you. But to say how grateful we are, maybe by way of introduction, allow me to introduce the members of the delegation from Kenya so that you can know who is in our midst. I will start with my colleague, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, our former Vice President of Kenya. Thank you very much. We have governors in our midst, Governor Nanok, Governor Mburia, and Governor Ann Waiguru. Those are people running close to the states in America, but we call them counties in Kenya. Then we have senators from Kenya. We have two senators from Kenya. Senator Susan from the Nakuru you talked about, that's the Senator of Nakuru. And Senator Murkomen, also from Rift Valley. And then we have members of parliament in our midst. We have Aden Duale, is a former leader of majority in parliament. Alice Wahome, member of parliament for Kandara. Owen Baya, member of parliament from the coast part of Kenya. Kimani Ichung'wah, member of parliament from the outskirts of Nairobi, not too far from Nairobi. Soiban Tuya, actually she's a Maasai. The Maasai, she's not very tall though. Yeah, and then Adagala Beatrice from the western part of Kenya. Thank you. I think we have other officials in our midst. Let's just say the rest of the officials from Kenya, can you stand up? Yeah, those are members of our delegation. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you very much for welcoming us into this university. Again, I want to thank all of you. They normally say peace is not necessarily the absence of war. It's much more than the absence of war. And it is our belief as a nation, as Kenya, and being a member of the global village, that we do our part in making sure that we live in a peaceful world doesn't have prejudice over race or color or religion or where somebody comes from, and that informs our past and present. We have, as has been said by somebody here, a nexus between the church, the state, and our development. Kenya has a lot of gratitude to the church. We have a long history of relationship as a nation with the church. So that you may know, almost 20% of all our health facilities are church-based, or they are run by church-based institutions. And almost 30% of all our schools are actually run by religious institutions. And let me say our first two presidents are products of church institutions. They were mentored, they went to school because of the church. And therefore we have a solid relationship with the church. And even in our politics, you will find that along the way, you will find the Ufungamano initiative as we worked on the push for a new constitution. And that was largely a faith-led engagement as we sought for a new constitution for our country. And so we have a solid relationship as a nation with the church. And so do I find in this great institution that there is an interface of faith and education, and that's the solid basis upon which this institution is built. I have had occasion to meet many, as has been said here, of the reverends who've come to Kenya, of the bishops who've come to Kenya, and they have been part and parcel of the achievements we've made as a nation, and their contribution cannot go without mention. We truly are grateful to the initiatives the bishops have done in our country. Let me say that our mission to America, this time around, we have meetings with government officials later beginning from tomorrow, to discuss the future of our country and to discuss what we as a country and this great nation of America can share in terms of democracy, development, and the whole array of matters in that space. We believe that we have lessons to learn from this great land of the free, also we call it. And you inspire us as Kenyans to also claim our space and be free from the many trappings that in the journey of making a nation become part of the struggles that we have to go through. The country is deep in discussion about our democracy, the status of our democracy, the threat to our democracy, and the freedom of choice that people can choose freely without blackmail, intimidation, threats, which in the life of a nation sometimes become part of the hurdles that we have to go through. And Kenya is as resilient as this state. You have correctly said that this also looks like a state of hustlers. And and so are we. And so we are at the moment in Kenya, we are facing an election, and the matters in the election, from our opinion, are about 3 issues. In fact, the biggest issue that is on the ballot is the democracy of our nation and whether we truly have the opportunity to make free choices devoid of blackmail, threats, and intimidation. That's a matter that is on the ballot, and that's a matter that many Kenyans, in fact, if you understand a bit of Kiswahili, that's what informs the current push by many Kenyans to say hatupangwingwi, meaning we want to make our choices without being choreographed or chaperoned or blackmailed or intimidated. We are also going to be making choices about our economy and the democratization of our economy. There is a feeling that our economy has been captured and curtailed and brokered and become exclusionist. And that's why our push is that we must democratize our economy, make it inclusive, bring everybody on board, and ensure that nobody is left behind. And that's the push that is going to inform the elections in our country. And that comes in different forms. It comes in job creation, expanding opportunity for business, expanding opportunity for value addition, agro-processing, and all the array of interventions that would create a much more inclusive society in our nation. So we are looking forward to the partnership of friends and people of goodwill. And America has always been a partner and a friend and has stood with us during the good and the bad times. always in Kenya. And together with other members of the international community, we are looking forward to working together in that endeavor. It is said that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So whatever is happening, whether it is happening in Ukraine or in any part of the globe, is a source of concern for all of us. And the statement that was issued by the government of Kenya at the UN, for example, was laced with one of the statements that Dr. K's institute, this Carson Institute, about race. That even in a situation of war like in Ukraine, you still have people who want to practice racism, who gets rescued first, you know? And even in a situation of war, it's mind-boggling that people can still have the space to practice racism, you know? And therefore, the institute here, the Carson Institute, has some work to do. And hopefully, as members of the global village, we will play our part as people from Kenya. I do not wish to say more than that at this point. I want to say thank you very much for accommodating us in your schedule, and we are looking forward to an interaction with you people. Thank you.
So we're going to open it back up for questions and answers. For us, that is the hallmark of what it means to be at a university, to be able to have open exchange and dialogue. So I would like to welcome back up to the stage the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to join me in the seats to have an open conversation. Wherever you'd like to sit.
Okay.
Someone called it the hot seat, but
Maybe the hot seat.
maybe the hot seat.
Okay.
So I want to begin by talking about democracy. So in America, we understand that true democracy is linked to having both free press and the freedom to speak. And so I want to ask you to think about this as it pertains to Kenya. What does democracy look like there? And what is your responsibility as a deputy president to make sure it happens?
Well, to be fair to ourselves, maybe sometimes we judge ourselves by very high standards. But to be fair to ourselves, Kenya is a robust democratic country with a very progressive constitution.